The will is the mental faculty that gives you the ability to hold one idea on the screen of the mind to the exclusion of all outside distractions or ideas. I want you to start dreaming about what you want and then discipline yourself that you're going to execute it. Now, you and I are constantly being inundated with ideas through our senses. See, hear, smell, taste, touch. It's flying into our mind. It's so easy to get off track. Most information that you pick up just as you go through your day is negative. It's very negative. Most people spend most of their time thinking of why things won't work. 90% of the population are locked into that. If you turn on your radio or your TV, the news, it's all negative. It's not good news, it's bad news. And people will sit and stare at it. Now, your mind works in such a way that if you're not thinking, your subconscious mind is wide open to impression. And whatever's going on around goes right into your subconscious mind. You become totally deductive to whatever the environment you're in. It's very important that you mix with the right people. I am super selective about people that I spend a lot of time with. I don't think I'm any better than anybody. I think I'm a lot more fortunate than most, but I don't think I'm any better than anybody. There's just some people I don't want to be around them a lot. It's doom and gloom. It's bad times. I love what Earl Nightingale said. Don't talk about your health unless you're talking to a doctor. But you know, if you're not feeling well and you talk to somebody about it, you know what they're going to do? They're going to sympathize. What are they going to do? They're going to add more bad energy to the bad energy you're talking and thinking about. If you go to the doctor isn't going to give you sympathy. The doctor is going to give you direction how to get better. So don't talk about your health unless you're talking to a doctor. You might want to turn that into a little mantra in your mind. Well, here we want to learn to make decisions, and then we want to discipline ourselves. Decision without discipline probably turns into wishing. Discipline is to give yourself a command and then follow it. It's the ability to give yourself a command and then follow it. This I will do.
One of my key phrases for the whole day: disciplines work miracles. Disciplines work miracles. And here's the first piece that works miracles. Number one, do what you can. Do not let neglect grab you by the throat. Don't let neglect stall you on your path toward prosperity and health, being able to become powerful, influential, rich beyond wildest imagination. Don't neglect what you can do. If you can read, read. If you can change, change. If you can grow, grow. If you can take one step, take one step. Do not neglect to do whatever you can do at the moment. Of course, you can't run a multi-billion-dollar business today. Mark couldn't either 10 years ago. Mark couldn't either 5 years ago. But I'm telling you, today he can do it, because step by step, year by year, he took on what he could do. He didn't neglect it. He did the meetings he could do. He made the calls he could make. He read the books he could read. He took the classes he could take, and step by step, he got himself ready. Telling you, do not neglect to do whatever you can do, because it'll work miracles. Of personal development first, productivity second. Now, do what you can. Here's number two, do the best you can. If it's a foggy night and you can only see 100 feet, how can you see another 100 feet? Answer, walk the first 100 feet. Walk as far as you can see, and then you can see some more. And walk as far as you can see, and then you can see some more. So what you've picked up here, just do it as far as you can see it. And I promise you, if you'll execute as far as you can see it, you'll be able to see more. Do that, then you can see more. And finally, get in tune of doing the best you can. And you'll have the activity that'll develop the disciplines that will set this sail so that you can say it doesn't matter how the wind blows. I'm prepared.
I love to talk about focus because I'm here to tell you we all got to stay focused. If we can stay focused on our life's work, if we can stay focused on our passion, I'm here to tell you just like a laser, we are dangerous. Remember, a laser goes in one direction, and I want you to understand if we can stay focused and go in one direction, you have no idea what you are capable of. And I'm here to tell you, my job is to put money in your pocket, and I have seen the power of focus. What I want to talk about right now is called microfocus. And the analogy I want to give you is a bodybuilder. You know what? You know when you see a bodybuilder. There's a lot of ladies and guys walking around that are buff, but you know when you see a bodybuilder. And here's why. A bodybuilder wears tight clothes, so we know they're a bodybuilder. But I would too if I spent all that time in the gym developing my body. But the one thing I love about bodybuilders is that their muscles have muscles. I mean, when you see a bodybuilder flex, all of a sudden you see muscles that I don't even know I had. All of a sudden I realize, you know what, I got those same muscles somewhere down there, but they're just not extruding because I don't spend the kind of time that a bodybuilder spends. But that's the analogy. A bodybuilder is focused and their muscles have muscles. So here's what I want to talk about with microfocus. See, the one thing about business, the one thing about life, I love peak performers like you because the only way we can become the best in the world at what we do, we have to have micro focus. And when we have micro focus, just like that bodybuilder has muscles, your focus needs focus. And when we can have focus on our focus, before we know it, we can grow a developing business, and all of a sudden we can pay attention to the detail. Many businesses are average only because they don't pay attention to details. There was a long time I was average, but I began to pay attention to detail, and by paying attention to detail, I realized you can separate yourself from the competition. So I want to position you to separate yourself from the competition. You don't want to be in the pack called average. I understand you're a peak performer. You got it in you, baby, but the only way we can bring it out is that we got to create what I call micro focus. And when your focus has focus, all of a sudden you can pay attention to every single gory detail, and that's what can position you as a peak performer. You will never ever meet a peak performer in your life that does not pay attention to detail. So just like a bodybuilder has muscles on muscles, you gotta have focus on focus. Here's the one thing that can break our focus. Here's the one thing that I've struggled with for years, a good idea. Entrepreneurs, business leaders, and business owners, beware of a good idea. I get conversations all the time. My mind is always working, and I can't even shut it off, but I gotta protect myself from a good idea. If you think about Jack Welch and how he built GE, he was really simple. He was very focused. In fact, he only built business units that were profitable. If he had any business unit that was not profitable, he shut it down or sold it. Do you guys know how many business people can have a failing business unit, and all of a sudden the instinct is to give all the attention to the failing business unit and leaving the business unit that makes the most money to neglect? That is not smart. Make sure inside your business to make sure you focus on the business units that give you the biggest return, that give you the biggest bang on your buck. Always make sure your focus is on the things inside of your company that give you the biggest return. I'm here to tell you, the next time you see a bodybuilder and you see that frame and those muscles have muscles, I want you to remember this presentation. I want you to understand that if you have micro focus, you can give your focus. I'm telling you what, you can separate from the pack. I have never been around a peak performer who was not micro focused. In other words, you got to get down to every little gory detail. And if you can get that micro focus, if you can get a chance to pay attention to detail, that's how you break out of the pack. That's how you go from being average to a above average performer. If you can pay attention to detail and let your focus have focus and not be distracted by a good idea, just like a laser, you can be dangerous. And just by a laser, you can do anything you choose to do, because I believe with focus, you are unstoppable.